Morning, everybody. It is a Monday. It is about 6:45 a.m. And what we're going to talk about today briefly is what is the one thing that we're going to focus on this week or get done this week or get better at this week. Often as we get into the day, into the week, there are going to be things that tug at our energy, at our time, at our resources. And if we don't make a decision early, early in the day, it's 6:45 a.m., early in the week, it's Monday, often even against our will or absent-mindedly, we're going to be complicit in giving away the resources we have to focus and lose that development or that progress we could have towards the one thing we want to focus on. So I've been reading a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller and Papasan. I've also been reading something called Atomic Habits by an author named James Clear. And I think these things sort of coalesce and are going to help me and our organization, our team at Foxtrot Family Law, be more effective, one thing at a time. And one fundamental principle is that you overestimate what you can do in a week, but you underestimate what you can do in a year. So if your goal was to lose weight, get in shape, that's the one everybody always uses, you're not going to have a six-pack in 1 week of hitting the gym. But those weeks can stack up on top of one another, and all of a sudden you're in better shape. Maybe you still don't have a six-pack, but you're certainly better off than where you were. So in our world of child custody at Foxtrot Family Law, of helping committed parents and caring relatives be effective in child custody cases, the one thing might be, I'm going to get a better job. The one thing might be, I'm going to quit drinking alcohol. So we sort of reverse engineer that to some sort of, and this is where the atomic habits, like the atom, the small nucleus of the habit comes in. What is the small thing we're going to do to move in the right direction? So for instance, if you were making minimum wage at a grocery store, nothing wrong with that. But if you wanted to move on from that, maybe learning how to type, like touch type, and I can type 65 words a minute. That might be something that would enable you to move into a more administrative role and make a higher wage and have more resources to provide for yourself and your family. That's not, you can't just walk into an office environment without the applicable skill set. So maybe that's the one thing, is I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day, typing this week. That's just an example. I'm not going to dig too far into that. But if not drinking was the goal, the one thing could be, I'm going to go straight to work and I'm going to come straight home. I'm not going to, go to the bowling alley where all my drinking buddies hang out. I want to bowl, but you're right there. So that's going to be a struggle and make it more difficult. So the one thing isn't really not drinking. The one thing is just coming straight home from work. And that's going to make avoiding alcohol abuse or alcohol in any form or fashion simpler. So principally, fundamentally, what is that higher goal, mission, purpose, one thing? And then what is like the one little atomic thing I'm going to do to make that easier. So once you've decided the one thing, the next step that's going to really help out is to block it off on your calendar. So for the person who's going to spend 20 minutes a day learning how to touch type so they can type faster and get a job in an office instead of maybe in an industrial environment, block off the calendar, put it on the calendar, schedule it on the calendar. You hear about people trying to get in shape, putting their time at the gym on the calendar. If it's not on the calendar, it is so much less likely to happen, I assure you. There's one author, Kevin Cruz, who even talks about putting your to-do list onto a calendar, because once something is on a calendar, as long as you're in the habit of using a calendar, maybe your one thing could be beginning to use a calendar. It's like a superpower. And if you know where you're going to do something, when you're going to do something, how you're going to do something, your chances are so, so much better of actually doing it and being focused on that activity, that project at the time. So you've decided what your one thing was. You've blocked off the calendar for it. And the third thing you know you're going to have to do, because you've already probably thought, oh, I can never do that. I've got so much going on. You could protect it. If you can't find 20 minutes a day where, strap your baby on, or the kids are in daycare, or a family friend can watch somebody for 30 minutes, or whatever explanation or excuse you may have for not blocking off the calendar to do one thing that you've already decided for yourself is your most important thing this week. I just don't buy it. I think if it's enough of a priority, you guys are ingenious enough. You guys have the ingenuity to come up with a way to find some time, find some energy, find some resources to invest in yourself, in your family, in your children's future, to serve and invest in that one thing that we're talking about this week, our priority on a Monday. So first, we've got to believe to know we can do it, but then you're going to have to protect it. So once you've gotten over the hump of saying, okay, I can find 30 minutes a day, I can block off my calendar to where I go straight to work, I go straight home from work. I don't go by the bowling alley and drink beer with my buddies. So I've got it on my calendar. Now it's 4:00. You get a text from your buddy. Hey, it's league night. We really need you. We're playing the, Rocket City Rollers. We really need you at league tonight. But you decided 3 days ago that your one thing this week, for once, just to prove to yourself that you could do it, you were going to go to work and go straight home. And you've been doing really great. And now the pressure's on. If you can't protect that time, it's almost like Jesus in the desert kind of thing. As soon as you decide what that one thing is, and you're focused on that one thing, you are going to see the world around you on this earth conspire to interfere with that. And the world is going to use the best tool it can to interfere with, interrupt, hamper your progress towards whatever it is you're trying to do for yourself. Whatever the one thing is you've decided, I don't know, something I haven't even thought about, I'm sure. So you're going to have to work very hard to protect that time, first of all, and that energy. That energy is actually a little bit harder because folks and circumstances can steal your energy throughout the day. But the time is going to be the most simple thing to protect. It's not going to be easy, but it is going to be simple. So decide what your one thing is. Block off your calendar for it. If you don't have a calendar, like I said, it's a superpower. Get yourself a calendar. We use Google Calendar at Foxtrot Family Law, every member of our team, we live by the calendar, we die by the calendar. Google Calendar is what we're using. Decide what your one thing is. Calendar where you're going to be, when you're going to be, how you're going to be, to focus on that one thing. And then protect that time with a vengeance, because the world is coming after you and you know it. I don't have to convince you that the world is trying to interfere with who you're trying to be and what you're trying to do, especially if you're dealing with a child custody situation. The other side knows you much better than anybody in the court system ever will. And they will use all of their little tricks that they learned, however much time they spent with you, to manipulate and control and interfere with what your goals are for yourself, your family, and your children. So focus on the one thing. Pick up the book if you're in a Barnes & Noble or on Audible. A lot more helpful information there, a lot more detail, a lot more tactics and strategies. But in the meantime, if you need any help with figuring out what the one thing is, and in your child custody case, you can certainly call Foxtrot Family Law or look us up online. You can like, comment, or subscribe for more information and more help with your particular situation. We thank you for watching. We'll speak soon.